Hey guys, what's up? It's JJ Ricochet back with another mapping video. And in today's video, we will be looking at what if Czechoslovakia reformed today. So, we'll just be erasing this border. There we go. And bada bing, bada boom. That's about the right borders. I don't exactly know how to draw them perfectly, but yeah. So we'll be looking at what if Czechoslovakia reformed today, and in my videos where I do reformed, I make it so they always have like a thirst for blood and go to war with people. So that's what we'll be looking at today. So Czechoslovakia will be red because they are going to be the aggressor in these wars. And the first country they're going to go after is Austria. Because Austria, like, they might not even have a military. I think they do. But, yeah. So they will start invading from the Czechian parts of Czechoslovakia, while Austria starts pushing slowly into the Slovakian parts. But Czechoslovakia's push is much faster, even though they're going through mountains. Eventually, Vienna is captured, and Austria basically just surrenders. And in the peace treaty, we just see Czechoslovakia fully annexing, not that part, fully annexing the top part of Austria, where all the mountains are, and leaving the bottom part as a puppet state. So, yeah. This is the new Czechoslovakia. And the next country they're going to be going after is going to be Slovenia, which goes pretty quickly as the troops are already right here, so they can just immediately start pushing in. They push in through the top, and eventually they take the capital of Slovenia, and Slovenia capitulates, causing Austria-Hungary to fully annex them into the Austro-Hungarian Empire and go down into Hungary. Now, Hungary is going to be the biggest challenge they've faced so far. They are the strongest country that they've faced yet in a war. So, this is going to be the most difficult battle they're going to have. They start pushing in from the parts where their armies are mainly focused at, whilst in these parts over here of Slovakia, Hungarian troops who were expecting an invasion eventually of Czechoslovakia start pushing rapidly and taking over almost the entire part of Slovakia before getting pushed back a little bit as troops arrive from the Slovenian parts that were down here, and a stalemate is reached and a holdout is formed as more troops flood into Hungary's side. Eventually, a spearhead is formed and Budapest is captured, which leads to Hungary losing a lot of morale and troops being pushed all the way back to the Hungarian border before they just surrender over. They make sure to what am I just gonna do that. So they make sure that they do this correctly, they only want some parts of Hungary. They don't really want the southern parts. Whoops. They want these northern parts over here. And then a little bit of land over here. And that's all they want. So we see these parts getting fully annexed. And then the rest we see just turn into a puppet state. So now Czechoslovakia is looking more like Czechoslovakia, Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary. And at this point, they decide that, oh well, we'll just take this over and add it to our thing because Liechtenstein. Yeah. Woohoo. But they decide to stop going after the Balkans and to go after their other biggest target yet. But before they do that, they decide to sit tight, and for a few years, they build up their economy, build up their my bad. Build up their economy, build up their military, build up their infrastructure, trying to get the most out of these new lands. And while this happens, a alliance is formed to stop this expansion in the Balkans, including Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, Greece, and Romania. And a separate alliance is formed. Between Serbia, Montenegro, North Macedonia. Not North Macedonia. Everyone hates North Macedonia for some reason. And Bulgaria. Kosovo will be playing neutral in this. They would join the Purple Alliance, but that might spark a war between the Purple and the Green Alliances, so I'm just not gonna do that. There we go. So yeah. But eventually, the Czechoslovakians have geared up enough, and they go to war with what? My bad. I got like hiccups or something. My bad. They go to war with Poland. If you couldn't tell, I was hovering over them, trying to like signify that they were gonna be there. I just wanted to say. So Czechoslovakia, with their troops all across the border, start pushing in from the south and from these parts of Germany, like next to Germany. They do a pretty well managed campaign. Also, Czechoslovakia was buffed, if you couldn't tell. Pretty large campaign to try to cut off Poland's western side, which they do successfully, and another one is formed to try to push into the coast, but that fails as Poland regathers itself and pushes back and re-establishes supply lines with Germany. Eventually, Czechoslovakia pushes further in from the south, trying to aim to capture Warsaw, which is about right here, I think. So they eventually go there, and they start to try to surround the city. They go up and around, but eventually are pushed back by Polish soldiers and cut off, and their attempts at that fail. So they try to broaden their reach over in the western side. I was accidentally using brush instead of ray color. And eventually they cut supply lines with Germany off again, and they start to make a massive push, and a successful campaign cuts off the coast of Poland this time. They start to make more advances down here in the south, where some of the Polish army has been holding out for a while. And eventually another encirclement is planned to try to capture Warsaw, and this one goes a lot better as they widen it up, and Poland tries to do the same thing again and cut it off, but their attempts at that fail as Warsaw is eventually encircled and supply lines are cut. Slowly but surely, their capital gets slowly encircled more and more, till eventually the city is fully captured, and Poland keeps fighting, because they will fight. Poland is not lost. Until eventually their last troops are encircled, and slowly but surely they get wiped out until they surrender over to Poland. So in this peace treaty, we can see that Poland is, just gonna do that. As I was saying, in this peace treaty, we can see Czechoslovakia taking the north parts of southern Poland, as well as the area around Slovakia. They also decide to take some of this land up here in the north, making an exclave, and eventually they do sign peace enough to claim this part as well, so they can connect to the sea. They're no longer a barely oceans country. They have reached the Baltic Sea, not Balkan Sea, that's like this area over here, I guess. It's part of the Mediterranean. But yeah. So eventually all these things are annexed into the Czechoslovakian Empire. And yeah. So Poland is not made into a puppet state, but they are their government is changed, and they join in an alliance with Czechoslovakia. As their government is not puppeted, but it is changed to like them. And yeah, but to end off this video, Czechoslovakia will be facing off against, you guessed it, Germany. So this war starts out with, This war starts out with Czechoslovakia pushing in from this area, completely pushing all of their army inside of this area, completely disregarding the south, which Germany takes to their advantage and pushes fully into don't know what that was all about. Alright, so they eventually take to their advantage and push into Slovakia, completely taking them over. Then they push into the Slovenian parts as a rebel group breaks out and helps them. And eventually they go and invade into the Hungarian parts. And while all that was happening, I just did that really fast, but while that was happening, Czechoslovakia cut off Germany from the coast, while their advances over here did get pushed back a little bit. They did eventually branch out and encircle Berlin, eventually cutting off these troops with a huge struggle, losing countless of troops, probably hundreds of thousands. And eventually these troops are starved, and that causes them to be able to be pushed back. Hungary is reliberated, the Slovenian rebel group gets wiped out, and eventually Slovakia is also liberated, and Germany starts to fall. As Germany is surrendered and Berlin falls, Germany surrenders. So taking a look at this peace treaty, we can see the puppet states of Slovakia, puppet state of Austria. It really looks like Slovakia, doesn't it? The puppet state of Austria will be getting the southernmost portion of Germany. They have been part of the Czechoslovakian Empire for the longest. Also, NATO, the UN, all that stuff didn't exist. That was pretty obvious because Czechoslovakia would immediately get pummeled. But yeah. And then Czechoslovakia will be getting parts of Germany following this river. They will get basically the outline of West Germany, or East Germany, and then they will also get these southernmost lands over here. That looked horrible. Like that. And yeah, so they will be fully annexing that territory. And yeah, they also make Germany join their alliance and put them as a puppet state. So they technically have both the alliance and puppet state on. These guys are just controlled fully. They're partially controlled. And Poland's just not controlled. They just opted to join after everything that happened between them. But yeah, so this is looking kind of beefy as Czechoslovakia. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this video today. I had a fun time making it. And if you guys want to see more of the Empire series, leave a comment down below on what Empire I should do next. That's all. JJ Ricochet signing off.